Okay guys, so we are here. I have a Countess Sonica team that I've been theory crafting, you know, like big brains. And I'm excited to actually test this out. And I'm gonna share it with you guys, obviously, because, you know, what's the fun in doing these things alone. So, here is what I got. Okay, so it's gonna be the Donar lead with the defense. And then quadruple AP control. Wait, no, quintuple AP control. What? Triple AP control, and then Catherine with the healing, and Celine for the support healing as well. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but Lin Xiao actually has AP reduce on her first skill. I didn't know this. So I'm gonna try. I built her really fast, and my goal is basically to crit and reduce the AP 30% here, reduce the AP 30% with Celine, and then also reduce AP percent with my Lucas. Now I don't actually have anything equipped on him, so I should probably change that. So my idea with this team is basically I want to make sure that my Donar, which is my Spotlight, will be taking a ton of turns. Not a ton of turns, he'll be doing a lot of damage with the Spotlight. There are other teams that just want to go directly into the Frenzy phase, but I think that you can maximize your damage in the Shimmer phase. So this is what this team is built for. The defense and the speed down on the boss. The defense break is really important. AP reduce and the defense up will also help the Donar do more damage, and then AP control and cleansing. So let's get into this. All right. Let's see. And I picked Donar here because Donar has the defense lead. There aren't the other choices don't really have a good defense lead, which is why I picked Donar for this. So okay, I'm gonna go manual. I'm gonna go manual for the first run. Let's see. She just resisted all three. What? Okay, buddy. Okay, good defense. All right. No, speed down and defense break. Okay, hate me then. AP reduce. Yeah. Okay. So I don't need the bleeds. So let's just focus on defense down. Yeah. Okay. Bam. 128. Holy cow, that's so much damage. That's huge. That's what she said. So if you were to do this on manual, I think okay, so if you were to do this on manual, you'd want to just use your Lucas on S1 the whole time, but I think on auto, yeah, he will use his skills. So let's see if like I can completely AP control the boss with just my S. Oh wow, Donar did a ton of damage there. Okay, so another reason why I picked Donar is that I tested, and the damage from the Thundercrack ability, like it says here, attacks all enemies at the start of his turn. It doesn't count towards the broken tracks. So Donar is actually really good here because he's kind of getting in an extra attack with the Thunderback passive. So that's really nice. Okay. Good AP control. Frick. AP control. Oh no, I got an extra turn. Okay, so I kind of need a better team for this because Countess Sonica just took a turn there, and she's supposed to never take a turn, like, ever. So might have to adjust here. Yeah. Oh well, that's fine. This is just a test team anyway. But the idea of this is basically to maximize the Donar because, God, she took another turn again. Frank, okay, I'm going auto. I'm holding her. Yeah, so oh God, getting a turn is so bad because you get the Celestial Dim. Yikes. But yeah, the idea of this team is basically to maximize the damage done while minimizing the AP control as much as possible. So you want to have as much AP control as possible, but you also want to have, you know, the usual defense up for the Donar, defense break on the enemy, on Countess Sonica, all that jazz in order to, you know, maximize the damage that you are doing. And then I brought Catherine here for the AP up on the team while also giving the team-wide cleanse. So far I think no, I think Catherine... God, she took another turn again. Holy cow. This is really bad. I thought that this would be manageable with like, you know, my relics, but doesn't seem like it's working out that way, which is pretty unfortunate. But we got a 1,000,000 score, which is pretty nice. This is a really good team on manual, I think. I'm pretty sure, because you can, you know, choose what you want to do, right? But on auto, it might be a different story. Oh, no, we... Okay, buddy. Okay. And it goes into Countess Sonica's third form, which is pretty bad, I have to admit. But I've got an SS, which is really, really nice for the first team. But yeah, I think I need to make this a bit more stable and have more AP reducing, basically. Better AP reducing, I think, would be pretty important. Okay, very fine, that's fine. Okay, so challenge attempt number 2. I made some adjustments. Okay, so for the team 2 and team 3, I already kind of like mapped this out. Like I already drew, like, oh god, yeah. I was like theory crafting. I'm such a nerd. And then for and for team 1, I'm gonna try replacing Lucas with Sander, because I think Sander has better AP control over most of his skills. Because for Lucas, if he's going to use, I thought he would just use his S2 and S3, right? But like since he uses S2 and his S3, it's kind of not optimal. You only really want him to use S1, but because you know AI, they're gonna use the S2 and S3. I think Sander might be better overall. So I'm still gonna try to keep like the philosophy of the team comp that I theorized, which is basically team 1, Donor, you want Donor to do a ton of damage, like more than this. Like this 1.4 is not what I thought. It could be higher. It can be higher, I swear. And then team 2 and team 3 is basically, this is like my attack heavy comp, because I don't know like how Countess Sonica will react to getting beat down really hard. If like she's more defensive and will require like you to last longer, then I'm probably gonna swap these out for stronger healers or more buffs. Right now, everyone in team is very DPS oriented, which is what the team 2 and team 3 ideology is basically. Alright, alright. Okay. But what I will say is that I'm pretty sure I do need 2 cleansers. I think 2 cleansers is kind of required. Oh, she also grows stronger from the power boost. I see. So she becomes more likely to dodge as well. But yeah, I think 2 cleansers is required here, because if your team is taking a lot of turns really fast, like for example, my Sander will lap sometimes, or my Lin Xiao is on Astralis set and will take an extra turn sometimes, then yeah, you really need 2 healers here. But so far, the AP control seems pretty nice, pretty good, pretty consistent. And yeah, that's nice. I brought Catherine here instead of Jinyu Yao, because I just learned yesterday that Jinyu Yao doesn't actually reduce AP if she doesn't dispel a buff. She got a turn! Oh my days! Oh well. Damn, she's starting to resist more, I think. I think that might be the problem. I thought, oh, she's resisting everything. Holy cow. Personally, I thought that, oh god, she's resisting. So the last run she took 3 turns. This run hopefully she takes less than that. She is growing faster, that's also another problem. Is that she's actually growing faster. So you might need to bring a faster, oh god, you might need to bring a faster Donor after all. That way Countess Sonica doesn't take too many turns. Yeah. That way, like, it's the Donor who's doing most of the damage and taking tons of turns. Instead of... She just AP... Oh, wait, no. Okay, never mind. That's because she transformed, I see. So, yeah, that should be that team dead. That was lower. Well, I was manualing a bit of it earlier on. Oh, she entered charge mode. Actually, no, this is actually pretty okay. Because now that she's in charge mode, my team can kind of go ham, right? Yeah, okay. she just lapped. She did a ton of turns and lapped basically, and somehow my donor is still alive. So that's just her using her skills normally. She's gonna enter charge mode again in this turn, which is nice because everyone is gonna use their skills, and then she will reset those skills, right? So that should be pretty nice. I optimized the team comp. The team comps are very similar to my Dark Starlord team comps, and that's because I optimized them so that they would have like, you know, all these buffs in the top right. Holy cow. I'll probably like do some effects or something so that I can mitigate the amount of blinding effects that are absolutely happening right now. But yeah, one of the most interesting changes I guess here, or one of the most interesting units I brought here is Alice, and that's because when she, you know, assists, anyone who assists on her behalf will count. And so I put, you know, Yunchuan and Ahmed first because their assists are 3 attacks, so Alice will actually get 4 absolute ranges pretty easily. But yeah, honestly, I can't even tell you what's happening right now. There's so much pain in my eyes. But yeah, she's gonna use her bafflement here, and she's not gonna hit much. Yeah, Embla doesn't have like the full save because at most she gets 2 hits on her S2, and then the follow-up Yunchuan Dog, which is gonna be 3 absolute ranges. But I think Embla's worth it because she just does so much damage, and I think that she's worth it. Now I will say that I did not bring a cleanser, even though that she dispels all buffs and applies buff blocker, and that was a conscious choice because when she uses the buff blocker, right? When she uses the buff blocker skill here, there's a huge chance that your units will have lapped her by the time that she enters charge mode and resets all of the abilities. I think that by then your team will lap twice and remove the buff blocker so that when she enters charge mode, your team will be able to start putting buffs back on themselves, which is why I opted not to bring a cleanser and just focus hard on damage. So she's in charge mode again, we're doing a ton of damage, and we're getting all the buffs back because, yeah, our cooldowns are reset. And that's another thing, is that like because our cooldowns are reset, I really thought to bring heavy value units that benefit a lot from when their cooldowns are reset. So Embla's really nice because of her defense. Gabrielle's a good one. The speed up buff Yunchuan, Ahmed as well for the healing. Actually, Ahmed doesn't really count because he doesn't reset his skill, I don't think, when she enters charge mode. So Ahmed doesn't count, but Ahmed's there for the attack buff on top of the Alice attack buff, which is really, really nice. So yeah. Oh, my team finally died. Okay. The nice thing about this boss is there isn't really any downside for you to enter like the charge mode late. Unlike, for example, in Dark Starlord, if you die after the meteor, it's kind of bad because then for your next team, the next meteor is coming up a lot sooner. But for Countess Sonica, it's not really like that because even if you go late after the charge mode, your cooldowns still get reset in time for the charge mode, so you're kind of always ready for it anyway, so it's not really that much of a detriment. The turn ordering is not really as dangerous. So yeah, for this team I brought Meredith for the speed up and for the slight help for the team. She's also there for mitigation basically and healing, and honestly maybe she's not that good after all. I might have to swap her out for someone else now that I'm thinking about it. I brought the twins, and oh, Meredith's there because she will protect herself against the giant charge skill. What's the giant charge skill called? Yeah, the spotlight. This attack, because she also single hits on her S1, which is really, really important so that your healer doesn't die. Right, that's what I brought her because like other units, they don't really multi-hit as well. So for example, like, let's say like another speed lead, for example, like Sander or Falcon, they don't really multi-hit, so they're kind of at a very big disadvantage here. Same for healers, there aren't really that many healers who multi-hit. The best one I could think of was Berenice, but I don't know if you really want to bring Berenice, especially because the S2 will dispel all buffs, so I don't think Berenice is that good. You want to bring healing that is like right there and then. Meredith will overheal, But the thing about Berenice is that her recovery is like, she doesn't heal like right then and there. So it's pretty bad. But the thing is, I guess, yeah, because my Meredith was busy healing, she didn't really put on absolute range stacks on herself, which is kind of bad. So maybe Meredith isn't that good after all. I guess, wait to see. This is the team that I've come up with. So far, it looks like the DPS team is working out. So far. Yeah. Seems to be working out just fine, I think. But yeah, Countess Sonica is starting to get pretty fast here with this, yeah, ouch. And that's my DPS dead, so I guess that's pretty much the run right there. I guess I'll just like fast forward to the end. Okay, so let's pick Avatara here. For EX Plus, this is not bad, I guess. Minus 42, okay. That does not seem like a lot of damage that I did right there. But you know what, 225, 50. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you do not sleep on the team one. The team one will do a ton of damage. Look at that, Donar doing 24% of the damage here. So I think you really need to not sleep on the donor team. Sorry, I said donor so many times. And I think just from seeing this, I don't know what's going to be the cap, but it looks like you're gonna want to build for tankier setups now, because previously in the previous Dark Starlord, Dark Starlord doesn't get stronger as the run progresses, right? He stays the same the whole time. But now with the power boosts, it looks like you're gonna have to build different set of team comps now. I think that this would have worked if there was no power boost and Countess Sonica stayed the same the whole time. But I think because, you know, she can be AP reduced and like even Phobiter can be AP reduced in like the whole sides of the phase and whatnot, that yeah, it's gonna be more of a tanky setup now rather than like a all or nothing triple DPS. I think you're gonna need to bring like 2 DPS at most maybe from now on. We'll wait to see, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Countess Sonica is pretty different. Yeah, the Sentinel hunts are gonna be a lot different now from now on, so we're gonna have to wait and see what the meta is going to be. But at the very least, I will say for your team 1, please do not just skip over to the frenzy phase. Your shimmer phase does count a lot to making tons of damage and min-maxing, because your shimmer phase isn't just a stall team anymore. The spotlight, the Donar here, will do a ton of damage. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for now. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. This is me in my after school outfit, by the way. I just came from school and I was so excited to record for this. I've been waiting since yesterday, okay? But yesterday they weren't released yet. Anyway, I've been rambling. Look at the okay, bye.